Well, talking about single development for generic medicines, I think there are three items that need to be mentioned here. One is efficiency, because obviously if you have the same formulation and bring it to the different markets, it's much more efficient for pharmaceutical companies. And the other one is, or the other two, are related to the reduction of the number of clinical studies of bioequivalence trials. There's a cost reduction implied here, and also from an ethical perspective, it's much better for the subjects because less subjects are exposed to the different studies. But talking about efficiency and the single formulation, we have to say that even today, globally acting companies, they try to go with the same formulation to the different markets, but they have to conduct different studies for the different markets. And the regulations and the requirements are so much different. And sometimes this leads to a difficult situation. For example, if you develop for the US first, then you meet the proportionality criteria of the US. You want to extrapolate the study results to other strengths. And according to the US criteria, this is quite relaxed. If you then go later to Europe, you have the stricter requirements and you might either reformulate your product or do additional studies for the additional strengths. Well, talking about US and Europe first, a real difference for pharmaceutical industry, talking about the single development, would be that we need the global reference product, meaning we can use a study against the same comparator for the different jurisdictions. And the second thing is the harmonization of the bioequivalence standards. I would not say that one without the other is irrelevant, but the main advantage would be if both could be achieved. For example, if we just get the harmonization of the bioequivalence studies, we could go ahead and running the studies with different comparators, doing a multiple arm study. So there is some advantage because it's the same design across the different jurisdictions, but still you have to do a larger study. If you do it the other way around, if you get the harmonization in terms of the design and the study program, you could use a study maybe for submission here and there, but you still would have to conduct additional studies and meet the stricter requirements. So there's also some advantage, but not a huge one. And going beyond Europe and the US for the additional countries that still require studies in the local population, that's, I think, something else that needs to be discussed. The requirement here does not really make sense from a scientific perspective. So we really have to lobby here and bring forward scientific arguments. And at some point, if this is achieved as well, then we could really use one study across the world.